On our journey around Australia in our 1966 GMC pickup, we've reached the rainforests of central Queensland. It's the perfect place to see a waterfall or two and, hopefully, fulfill my lifelong dream of seeing a platypus in the wild. But our plans go awry when Camo discovers a hole in our radiator. How do we go find a platypus now? And more importantly, how do we fix the radiator while stranded in the tiny town of Finch Hatton? On the way to Finch Hatton, we camped at Carmila Beach just to chill out for a bit. The council provide these low-cost unpowered sites right on the tree line of the beach, so there's plenty of wildlife around to enjoy. Our personal favourite being the incredibly agile black kites. We got the idea to see if they'd catch a tidbit after we witnessed one swipe the cheese and cracker right out of our unsuspecting neighbour's hand. It was so nice to do some fishing and hang out on the beach, but it's definitely not the kind of water that you'd want to go swimming in. Finch Hatton had the nicest showgrounds that we have seen yet. And seeing we can camp off-grid, we got to camp right down the back amongst all these gorgeous trees. We could not believe all these huge blue Ulysses butterflies flying around our campsite, but they were so fast. Do you think I could get a photo of them? No, I could not. The really huge ones flew up really high ahead. But interestingly, there were some really tiny little mini ones that would land on the tree, so I tried to photograph and film them, okay? This is the best I could do. We had it on very high recommendation from the Mackay locals that when we were in Finch Hatton, we had to go to the gorge and check out the Wheel of Fire cascades. I was really intrigued by the name Wheel of Fire. I'm thinking, does it kind of go around, or has there been a big fire here? Did something really bad happen here? Turns out the answer's pretty innocuous. It's just named after a local flower that is bright red and resembles the spokes of a wheel. Go figure.
Mountain goat country. Whoa! I nearly fell to my death.
It looks like they're crossing out a bridge once, but I think it washed away. So the Wheel of Fire is not just one waterfall, but it's a whole series of cascades. The biggest one is at the end, with a beautiful big swimming hole at the bottom of it.
Hey darling, how are you? Are you having the time of your life?
I'm glad that you...
3, 2. That was the most awkward dive ever.
Speaking of awkward,
I like slid off the rock.
the other end of the track leads to Arrowlawn Falls, which is much easier to get to than the Wheel of Fire. It looks like a really nice swimming spot as well, but we were less enthusiastic about swimming this time, seeing it was later in the morning and there were a lot more people around. But check this out, when Cam was filming this shot with his GoPro, I thought, oh, I should really use my SLR, and oh my god, it looks so much better. I should really use this camera a lot more. Just over a 20-minute drive up the range from Finch Hatton is the mist-shrouded and forest-clad mountain refuge known as the Eungella National Park.
Why are you so excited?
Because I want to see a platypus.
You're what?
I'm going to see a platypus, hopefully.
This is meant to be the place in the world where you are most likely to see a platypus.
Or platypi.
We were just at the end of the ideal window of time in the morning to see a platypus. So we sat and we watched and we waited.
How come you're so sad?
I didn't see a platypus.
You what?
I didn't see a platypus.
No, darling.
We did see plenty of turtles though. The unsuccessful platypus hunt was a bit of a bummer, so we consoled ourselves with a walk through the rainforest on the nearby granite circuit track.
What?
So this is what our walks really look like. Me carrying everything.
It was too quick to photograph, but we did see a noisy pitter, which looks like this.
My kind of walking track.
So when we got back from Eungella, we noticed that the truck was leaking coolant. And we thought maybe, it's a bit of overflow or something. Cam gave it a really good check over. It was still sus. And yeah, Cam found a hole in the radiator. The brand new custom built radiator, of course. So we were stuck in Finch Hatton. The truck could still be driven, but we weren't going to be able to keep towing or anything, obviously. We had to get this fixed. We put the word out on Instagram, and a guy in Mackay who's a fabricator reached out to us and said he could weld up the radiator for us, which is awesome. He couldn't fit us in for a week though. We were happy to wait. I mean, Finch Hatton, not a terrible place to be stuck. We had some squeaky noises happening inside. There were also squeaky noises happening outside.
Is that a bandicoot, eh?
It's not. It's a koala.
Nah.
It's a possum. Ringtail.
Righto, Camo. It's definitely a bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot is spot on. These things really did crash around. Jumping, kick flipping. I'm not even kidding. We made sure to keep our rare white long-nosed bandicoot exercised as well. Come on. Click, click, click. Good girl. So we just hung out for a week, just chilling out, sitting, looking at the butterflies. On the day, Cam drove the truck to Mackay. The leak was really slow. And yeah, this guy was happy to let Cam use his driveway to pull out the radiator and everything. And once Cam had the radiator done, he welded it up. Bob's your uncle. It's done. Cam put it back in. It was fixed. So that was awesome. We're so grateful to Metal Mix Fabrication for that. Had to get him some beers and we were up and running again. Happy days. That was good. With the radiator sorted out, it was time to head up the mountain and have another crack at spotting this platypus. This time we came in the afternoon, so we didn't miss that twilight period when the platypus are most active. We were told to keep an eye out for a trail of bubbles, so this is looking really good. Under the water just down here. So getting to see the platypus was absolutely magical. I was grinning like I was cheesing. We were waiting at the river and I spotted the platypus. It was far off. I didn't get a good photo. Cam had walked up the path a bit and I was trying to signal to him. So I'm like, Cam, come here. The platypus. Oh. And he wasn't noticing me. And it just got more and more frantic where I was like, Cameron, Camo, Cam, there's a platypus. I'm surprised I didn't scare the platypus off, honestly. Yeah, then finally Cam noticed and came over. We watched the platypus. It swam out for ages and then it started swimming down the bank, so we followed it for a bit and eventually it saw us and we scared it off. Went to hide wherever. So we walked down to, this was under the bridge. We walked down to the second bit where there's a viewing platform where we sat and waited the last morning we went. And yeah, there was another one there just hanging out, going down, coming up, going down, feeding. Like there was a family there with 2 young kids and like they weren't being overly noisy, but you know, they were disruptive as kids can be. And this platypus didn't seem fazed. I don't know if it's just too far for it to see or what. But yeah, it was amazing. I was cheesing. I didn't care that I was getting rained on. I was just so stoked to see a platypus. Cam loved it too. He's out working at the moment, hence why I'm doing this. And yeah, so glad that we went back a second time and tried it again. It was truly magical. Like seeing a platypus in Australia is it's like seeing a unicorn because they're so shy and reclusive. And yeah, that was a big tick off the bucket list. I was pretty stoked for sure.